But we are going to jump. We are going to jump to a man. Lucky.
Sir Luck.
Mm-hmm.
You are alone, away from your friends. You are carrying a dismembered body of Durling.
I was gonna say, yeah, I grabbed 2 of his legs.
Okay. Yeah, so you're carrying Durling's 2 legs. And I'm assuming at this point you've made it up onto a rooftop, yes?
Yes, certainly. I would not stay on the ground at this hour.
The sun is almost completely gone at this point, so it's starting to get harder for you to see besides the lights that are on certain houses, etc.
Mm-hmm.
But what are you out here? What are you doing?
I am making my way. I assume that the noble has a back door.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. So I'm making my way towards that with the intention of knocking on the back door and leaving the legs with Thaddeus, because I can't leave them outside because the dogs will get them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fair enough. So, yeah, so you're making your way to the noble. Based on where you were from the noble, it's not going to be too hard. It's going to take you probably around 18 minutes or so to walk just on the rooftops at at your regular speed that you would, because you're kind of parkouring around, I'm assuming.
Yep.
To the noble itself. It won't be very hard because once again, Lumen Rose full, it's just a ghetto. So you can jump from roof to roof to roof to roof, and there's no major gaps.
Mm-hmm.
So you can make yourself, you can get yourself to the noble. I'm not going to make you roll a encounter table just because you're on the roof and there's nothing dangerous here.
All right.
So yeah, so we see just shots of Lucky dashing over chimney top, sliding down shingled roofs as several of them are falling off, and then we see him like jump, roll, jump, land hard, roll, and then recover and keep running. So we just gets all these shots, and then we also get a shot of him running across the rooftops, and then it's just the black sky behind him, and then we just see his silhouette. And you make your way to the noble, unmolested. What would you like to do?
Come up. I am going to check around the alleys to make sure that there's nothing human or mongrel roaming about, and then I'm going to go up and knock on the back door.
Okay, give me a perception roll.
All right. Oh, that's the wrong roll. Sorry. Oh.
Perception. So before it would have been a 13, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so that's fine. You notice that to the right of the noble, just outside of it, there is a very familiar man that you're used to seeing. You don't have the greatest standing with him, but you and him aren't enemies or anything. You see Demetz. Demetz is patrolling outside. He's outside checking that all of the shutters for the lower basement windows are chained up nice and tight so that nothing can get in. He has his sword drawn with his lantern out, and he's just looking very soldier-like with his, just with his methods.
All right. And as I descend from the roof, I'm just going to not holler, but sort of loudly whisper, "Oi, Demetz!"
Yeah, and like a sword fighter, once again, as soon as you jump down, before you can even say something, he turns to your direction with his sword, and then you say, "Oi, Demetz," and he sees you and puts his sword not at the ready.
Sorry to be swinging by, but I've got some business with Thaddeus, so...
Right. Well, I suppose the rumors are true that you aren't dead and you managed to get out somehow. Good for you, he says. Same can't be said for your boss.
Yes,
Go on.
Is quite the shame. And with that, I just bound up to the back door and just knocked on the...
Yeah, you knock. And there are several seconds that go by. And then once again, you're just like, hello, you knock again. And then you just start to hear from the other side, you start to hear a big heavy bolt get moved to the side. And then you just see this little peephole open up, and it because you're standing below the stoop, right? So you see this peephole get opened up at the top, and you see light start to shine out from the top, and then it opens for a second, slams shut. You hear the thing close, and then you just hear then you hear a sliding mechanism again, and then this little bottom one opens up. There are multiple ones that he can use to see out different angles for people. And you see Thaddeus's eyes.
Oi.
Are you? Fuck. And you just hear it slam. And then you hear lock. You hear a big chain fall to the ground. You hear another one and another one. You're just hearing all these bolting mechanisms. You're standing there for about 40 seconds as we see you just kind of awkwardly like fiddling with the leg as we're just hearing all these mechanisms go. And then finally the door just barely opens a crack. What the fuck are you doing here?
Well, I came to repay a debt, and I honestly don't have any better time to do it. And I hold out both legs like it's the most I could carry.
Come in. Yeah, as the door slightly opens.
Yep, and I make my way in.
You make your way in, and we can hear the crowd of the noble. But you guys are at the back of the restaurant, obviously.
Yeah.
It's a lot quieter than it normally is. So I will actually just lower that to accurately represent. But yeah, you can just hear it in the background. Nightlife is still going here. Business as usual. Everybody's held up here for the night for a night of drinking, gambling, and sex, as per usual. So he opens up the door for you. All right, come in then. Fuck.
And yeah, I very quietly, not making any noise above the sound of the crowd through the walls, just slink into the house.
Yeah, and he's very obviously nervous when you step in, and he looks around once again, and he goes over to the kitchen, and he slams the door, and you go up, and you see him start bolting a couple of the doors towards the opening of the restaurant, and he's just making sure that none of his girls are around, and then can't be too careful. So what is it that you wanted to do for me, Lucky?
Well, a friend of mine said that this would be the best way to pay you back. He was slovenly drunk, so I knew you had treated him well. And I, just hold out the legs.
Right. He takes a look at them, and he goes over and grabs one of the legs and just brings it up and goes over and plops it over on a scale. Not bad. I told your friend to say that I need a whole person.
I can't carry that much, sorry. I could get as much as I could. If I can get some help later on, and you could promise some payment for the people who helped me, I could get whole bodies here, but I don't have the manpower for that just yet.
Yeah, he just kind of listens, and he just kind of leans back on the table and just... Sorry doesn't make meat pies.
Yes.
I'll ask Georgina what she can do with this, but for now, I appreciate you coming here, but don't anymore, ever. And, just get one of your fucking idiot friends to drop it off for you next time, all right? You make them, get your friends to drop them off. We'll do business that way. I don't want to be caught with you ever. Never. Are we understood? Lucky.
Of course, you've already done more than enough. Consider this a down payment.
Yeah. Fine. Just, are you getting things to eat okay?
Not really. It's been a rough time. Had a bit of a mix-up at the market with that asshole Florence.
Yeah, he just kind of looks at you, and his nervous just kind of goes down a little bit as he looks at you sort of sympathetically, and he just walks over to these things of baskets and starts ripping through stuff trying to find something. And once he starts to make a bit of a mess, he finally produces this little thing of like this little pouch.
Mm-hmm.
You don't fucking deserve this at all. I'm a stupid fucking idiot. And he just goes and he tosses you this little pouch.
Yeah.
And you go and you catch it in midair. And it is a decent gold pouch that if you were to look at it meta-wise, there would be 10 gold pieces inside of it.
Ooh. I promptly secret it away into one of the secret compartments in the shirt I'm wearing.
Yeah. All right. You owe me. Big.
Of course I owe you. Believe me, when I'm back on top in this town, you'll be the first one to really see some benefits.
To make fucking promises you can't keep. Now get the fuck out of my bar before someone sees us.
Of course. Give Georgine my best.
I won't.
And I'll never see you again. Later, bastard.
Hope not. Fuck. Yeah, and he just goes over and is kind of like pushing you as you open up the door, and as soon as you walk outside, the door gets slammed, and you start to hear and like all of these locks start going back up. Yeah.
And I will use the sound of all those locks to cover me sneaking back to a rooftop to get away.
Nice. And so you get your way up onto a rooftop, and from the noble to the funnel, if you're going to be using the rooftops, it's probably going to take you close to like 2 hours to get home.
Okay.
Just so you're aware. But if you're going to stay on the rooftops, I'm not going to make you make a roll for an encounter unless you want to make a shortcut to going through an area where a lot of scabs end up sleeping.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip out on that. I would like to sorry, I forgot to mention this earlier. I'd like to flash back to when I was sort of taking the body apart, and you would kind of just see a camera angle from one of the alleys as Lucky is tearing a little bit into this body. And then it zooms in closer, and you see him with a bit of the blood start to paint the shape of a three-pointed crown, just a very simple icon onto the road right next to the bodies. And then with that, he takes the legs and walks away.
Nice. Yeah, so you're leaving some sort of symbol.
Yeah.
For people to find, so that like rumors can be spread amongst the beggars of the East Shanty.
Exactly.
Okay, so we'll get more into that, I guess, as we figure out what that means more later on. But yeah, we get the shot of you just like painting with the blood, and then because like the thing is, you look at your hands and there's a lot of dried blood on them still, so you kind of just grab one of your wraps and rewrap it to get some of the blood like hidden from your hands, and then we just see you grab your grappling hook and like swing it up and then start to go up on top of one of the roofs, and you can make your way back to the funnel. Uncontested, if that is what you would like to do.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, as you go, you approach the funnel, and we see Bell. Bell is standing where he always is, just standing there. There's a little candle lit next to him, so that people can see him. And as you come up, you just hear the little chime of his bell as he reaches over very lazily and tugs at this little string.
Yeah, and I'm going to drop a gold into his cup and be like, for all the times I didn't have any money, here you go.
And you see a smile crack on the side of his face.
Mm-hmm. And with that, I make my way into the funnel, probably washing my hands off in like a puddle or something to get a little bit extra blood.
Yeah, there's a shit ton of water in the funnel, so it's okay. But yeah, you start to go down, and one of the first things that you see as you start to go down is Chum is just kind of awkwardly sitting over by the entrance, and he's just kind of hunched himself down. He's grabbed a couple scraps of cloth that he's found about as he's using it to rest his bald head against the stone slabs, and he's just resting there. And as you come by, like one of his eyes sort of cracks opens, and he looks at you, kind of follows you go, and just. And goes and shuts his eyes again. Huh?
Never mind. I just keep walking. I don't think anything of him.
Yeah, he was just paying attention. But yeah, you see that Chum has followed his way into the funnel.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you keep walking. Are you going to go straight to your room or?
First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight to Jorman's room
Okay.
and drop a pouch full of 6 gold next to him.
Okay. So, are you just going to slide? Are you just going to slide the gold straight into the room?
I'm probably just going to walk in. I'm just probably going to like knock on the outside of the door and just hold out a pouch.
Yeah, I was assuming when I heard the bell, I would make my way out there. So yeah, I'd probably. Meet
Okay,
you.
yeah. So you start making your way to Jorman's room, and literally Jorman is already walking his way down the hallway towards you.
I hope whatever you were doing went well. What were you doing? I'm actually curious.
Meeting up with an old friend. Here, and I toss him the sack with 6 gold pieces in it. And I tell him, yeah, if we get a couple of bodies to a friend of mine, he could keep some cash coming in. It would be worth it for all of us involved.
I'm going to need you to be more specific and less vague.
Just drop, we need someone, whenever we kill someone, it would be prudent for one of us to bring the body back to Thaddeus at the Noble, knock on the back door, all that stuff. It's dangerous, but it pays well. Sadly, I can't be the one to do it. There are too many eyes at the Noble, and Thaddeus does not want me around there.
Just look back at the pouch. Well, I can appreciate gold. You know, and I put it at my pouch, and I step out of the doorway. We should best leave Elodie. She needs to be able to rest. And just throw it behind me. And German will throw an arm around you. So Lucky.
And he just gives you a weird look at this unusually friendly thing from you, because the last time you threw your arm around me was when you were carrying me through the funnel, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
You see, Lucky. Lucky.
Yes?
I don't know how I feel about you, and I'm not used to not making snap judgments. You see, some people like you here, and I don't know how I feel because you give me so many mixed actions. And I really want to like you because I know you're good. Seeing your skills for myself, it's quite apparent, and that's not what I'm getting at. You're obviously useful, and I appreciate that, I do. I would appreciate it just in the future, and I understand this might be a bit of a, what's the word? Challenge. Might be a bit of a challenge for you. I heard from Gavan, you were a bit of a... You were used to having a bit of influence. Is that fair to say, Lucky?
I'm used to earning my influence, but yes.
So, you're used... I need you to just be blunt with me. Are you used to being in a position of power? That's all I want to know. A simple yes or no will do.
I'd say no, in all honesty.
Well, that's different than I've heard then.
I haven't
Anyways.
been on top for long.
But you've experienced it. Look, my whole point of getting through that is... whatever you were, before you were strung up like your boss and then managed to find your way down thanks to a very short man. I just want things to be clear. We're letting you stay here. I'm not complaining, you've done good work. But I just don't want there to be friction between the two of us, you see. And I take this, and I just gesture towards the pouch, as a decent way of moving things forward. I just really don't want there to be conflict between the two of us. So I'm asking if you just understand how things are while you are residing here. That's all I wanted to
I'll get out of here.
If I may, before Lucky responds, we just get this tense moment of like you could cut the air like it's butter between the two of you as you kind of like part. You know, you kind of let your arm go away from him, but you guys are standing within hitting distance of each other, just looking at each other. German with this sort of confident smile, but sort of like something behind his eye being kept like from coming to the forefront, and then Lucky standing there with this twitch of anger, but then also this just, you know, this facade of being humble. And you two stare at each other like these two forces coming, you know, straight at each other like these trains. But go ahead, Lucky.
Listen, I know how crews work. You get taken in. You become part of the group, and you help take care of it. And believe me, I have no intention of ever leading this ragtag bunch of beggars. I have no intention of flying in the face of whatever your setup here is. But I do have the intention of not being around for as long as the rest of my life. I plan on getting on my own 2 feet again. So, while I'm here, my services are yours, and as long as I'm not blatantly walking into a suicide mission, I'll be the new guy on the block. I'll be your little tool from now.
That's very crass. I don't appreciate that. Also, don't appreciate the attitude. But let me clarify something for you, Lucky. You see, I don't necessarily look at you and see a tool. I'm not that discompassionate. Whatever you may think of me, everything that I do to protect the people that are here. And right now, that includes you. Take that for what you will. But I would ask you to just consider something. I don't require an answer or a response, but just consider the fact of where you are, who you are, what you want done, and frankly, how you should go about it, not only in order to succeed, but in order to, well, succeed and keep your life long enough to enjoy it. That's not a threat. I'm saying there are literally tons of people on the outside that want you dead.
You think I don't know that?
No, but I think it's good to remember.
You think that my little buddy dancing the jig over the noble isn't a sufficient reminder?
I'm going to ask you to
of how many
calm
people
yourself.
want to be
People are
dead.
asleep, right?
As you say, people are asleep. German sort of gestures towards like one of the little wards, and you see that you've woken up a couple people, and there's a couple snooping heads looking over, and then as soon as German acknowledges them, they're all just like just immediately back to sleep, not paying attention.
Like,
Don't appreciate disturbing them.
At that point, I just tell Jorman to listen. Believe it or not,
Please stop telling me to listen. I'm already speaking with you.
Believe it or not, I respect you. You do a good job of keeping your people safe and in order, it seems. Just bear in mind, I do not want any one of us to die either, okay? I want everyone here to be safe as well. Allies are necessary in this town, and I have no intention of turning anyone here into an enemy, and I have no intention of letting anyone here fall to the dogs. And with that, I'd start walking away, completely oblivious to the irony of what I just said.
Yeah.
I would very much like to insight his statements concerning he doesn't his wanting to protect and wanting no one here to get hurt.
Okay.
They're spitting pure
Roll
venom, my
insight.
boys. Oh, my
So
lord.
it's insight versus
If
unless
he's
you're not trying to hide anything.
Yeah, if he's trying to
I was gonna
hide,
say.
then he needs to roll.
Just roll insight. We'll see what happens.
Well, are you lying to me? Because that depends if you roll at all.
Yeah, because that's the thing. If you're lying, then roll a deception, and depending on how much he beats you, it's okay if you're lying. He's not going to metagame.
I'm not. Hold on. I'm not lying. I just want him to roll. I just want him to roll the thing to see if he actually gets insight into what I'm saying, other than the fact that I'm not lying.
All right.
I got
That was intimidation. My bad.
Wouldn't it be the same modifier?
No, insight's worse.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you're looking at him, and it is impossible to read Lucky. He's not even a tinge of anger is coming off of him.
Not throwing this out there. If he did need to contest, he would have to. Even though I had a low roll, he could roll lower.
I don't think he's trying to hide anything.
I'm not.
though.
Okay.
I'm not hiding
Yeah,
anything.
that's all I was confirming.
Rules-wise, I'm being completely honest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I was
We
confirming.
don't know.
So I was just confirming, Jarman. Like, it's weird because you expect sort of from this person to
I'm very suspicious. Of it.
yeah, to show like even anger, right? Because it's like, who the fuck are you to talk to me like that? But then like he's not even giving off anger to you.
Have a lovely evening. Don't be sure not to wake Adam. He's had a rough night. And don't bring up Colin. Probably a bad idea.
And with that, like, you would literally Lucky just stops in his tracks for a second, and then keeps walking. Also, I'd like to point out that elves don't sleep.
This one does.
So as you walk away, Lucky, we just hear the very slight thump of something landing just behind you, Jormund. And as you turn to look at you, we see Elodie standing there. And what we got was there was a shot of her literally above you, suspended on the roof, holding herself up, staring at both of you.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then she drops down and then just looks at you. You should not provoke it. Not while you are alone.
Well, I'm glad to know you had my back. As I told him, I didn't know whether I liked him or not. I like him a bit more now. He's shown a little bit of bite. But, I understand what you're saying.
His bark is much worse. I've seen it when he sleeps.
You
Do
haven't seen...
not do this to it again without my presence. Please.
Very well. Although, I look forward to when you see what my new bark looks like. And I just give her a smile.
Yeah, she gets a slight smile as well, and just. But she's acting more not out of anger towards you, but sort of out of just like how a mother lioness would protect its cub.
Yeah.
Just out of more concern, and then her facade starts to change back into her just.
But I appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course, dear.
Let's go back to rest.
Yeah, and she starts to hobble with her cane towards your guys' room, and then we just see you open up the tarp for her, and she gives you a slight head bow as she goes in, and then you go in after her. And with that, I think we're gonna skip till morning if everybody's okay with
Hell
that.
yeah. Just an aside. Jarman, you realize how good you have it? You have a hag saying please to you. In that moment, I realized, what the fuck?
Yeah, I know.
Jesus Christ!
Just
Jarman.
remember, when you want to start killing German, you'll also have to deal with her.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Never!
Are you
Ever!
talking shit about my grandma.
Yeah, seriously.
Holy Jesus.
You talking shit about my grandma, man?
Anyway.
You want to slow down, boy?
This game
Yeah, I know. I would say Jormund has it pretty cushy compared to everybody else, but I mean, he has to look after everybody too. So there is the weight of that. Yeah. But so we're going to wake up.
Yep.
And if nobody wants any individual scenes, if you don't want to talk to anybody, or if you don't want to, which you may request, then everybody will meet in the gathering. Okay, for sure.
I also did after Adam does his thing.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, I'd like to be up a bit earlier. What Music Writer said is true, and I forgot because I haven't played an elf in a while, but yeah, technically we don't need to sleep. But I've been doing it so that my meditation's pretty much the same way that I would be sleeping. It's like curled up in a ball in my little place. However, I'd like to be up a bit early, preferably earlier. Obviously, I don't know exactly when he wakes up, but a little earlier than Lucky. And I'd like to just be kind of pacing quietly, waiting for him to wake up.
Okay. I think it's safe to say that he slept a little bit, heavy, just because he had a long night.
Right.
Who are you waiting for?
I don't know if you'd be open to this, Vijan. The conversation I wanted to have was with you, and it was actually at night.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, we can do it before. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, cool.
Because it may or may not
only
affect
needs
what you
4
want to
hours
talk
of
about.
sleep. He only needs 4 hours of rest anyway.
But yeah, after Dusty handed me the body, I was just wanting to look at you and say, have you said everything that you want to say? it's important you do, because this is your chance.
It's a relatively non-verbal arrangement. But I'll miss him ever so dearly. I just don't want him to be ripped apart by dogs. It seems so crass, and he deserves better.
What would you have me do? If not, take him out.
Could you bring him outside? I have an idea.
I hope it doesn't involve burning him as I begin carrying him. It's a very bad idea.
Yeah, so it did. Brennan, hey, so that thing about people who die, their bodies being burned, is that like a 100% thing? How does that work exactly?
It is known that people that, especially cruel people that don't want the soul of their foe to pass on, will burn the body to face them again.
Okay. Is there perhaps a loophole? I am a student of Arcana. I don't know if that would help with my knowledge, but is there maybe not a loophole, but maybe an unexplored territory of someone burning a body in reverence rather than in cowardice?
Well, the thing is, there are stories. They're more folk stories, but nobody's quite sure because nobody's really ballsy enough to burn bodies. Of people burning their mothers so that the dogs won't eat them, and the mother coming back in the night and slaughtering the whole family.
So that is a tale that, yeah, okay, got it. Huh. Okay. Let me see what I can do.
Yeah, as a passing comment, I doubt you'd want to see Cone return as something like, well, what almost killed you in the marketplace.
No, I wouldn't want that. I have something...
But if you do have any ideas, I'm listening.
Perhaps, Yes, perhaps. Yeah, so yeah, I'll ask that you take him out with me. And yeah, it doesn't have to be a very long scene, but
No, it doesn't matter. I mean, this is your
just,
guys' game, so so you guys, we see a shot of you helping Jormund being much stronger than you're actually like anticipating, just for like some sort of magic user, because you don't know many magic users to be, remotely capable physically, is, carrying most of the weight of Colin and hefting him up the stairs. You're carrying his feet.
Yeah. And, like, my intent also is that he actually, I think as we're carrying him, I would like to just very lightly and casually make sure that if he has any keepsakes or anything like that on him, I'd like to see if I can find those.
Okay.
So just look over his person. I don't want to, disturb too much his clothing or anything like that. I don't want to undress him or anything, but I just want to see if there's anything on him that I might remember him by, I think, more than anything.
Okay, so this is one thing that you would know that he has. He used to have a little necklace that was made out of the scale of a fish that doesn't break. It's a very hard scale. So it looks like sort of like a mini dragon scale, but it's you know that it's from a fish because his mother gave it to him because he used to be from a small fishing village, and it's just a little thing. It's just the tiniest little necklace.
A fish scale necklace.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. In fact, then in that case, if I knew that, I would take that off in the course of us bringing him topside.
Yeah.
And I'd put it on myself. And upon sort of so the funnel is just kind of a it's this sort of pseudo tunnel entrance.
Yep. It's literally just a crypt entrance.
Yeah.
There's the little stone archway and then stairs that go down. And a little gate.
Okay. Does it have a roof of any kind?
The tunnel, the entrance, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Is it sort of flat-ish?
It's one of
Pointed.
those pointed ones.
Okay, got
yeah,
it,
it's
got it.
very, very small though. It's a really, really small entryway. And then there's just a little gate. And then remember, it has the thing where it was saying the something crypt, and then it was scratched out and said the funnel.
Yeah.
And then Bell's standing right outside it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I would have him brought. I defer to Jorman to figure out sort of where the nearest but most, like, harmless place would be to leave his body.
I'll be perfectly honest with you, Adam. The dogs will find him if we put him outside. I won't lie to you and say that if we put his body somewhere, it won't be touched.
No, I wish for him to be found. If anything, I don't want him to be risen.
Very well.
I don't
Then
see him suffer.
I offer because if you want to go back, I will make sure that his body is placed somewhere and that we don't have to deal with this again.
Wait. Know you anywhere that... Maybe a garden... No, there's no gardens here. just grass? Perhaps?
Not nearby.
Definitely not nearby.
Mm-hmm. Soil? Dirt?
You ask a lot of Thoreau.
Yeah, it's mostly just old, flooded cobble streets and then mud.
What if we were to bury him?
They still rise.
But like really pack in the dirt?
They're very strong.
If we get Dusty to do it.
Adam, I understand what you're doing. It's just stop.
I've studied the 5 stages of grief, okay? I know what I'm doing.
Well then, could you please get past denial?
It's the hardest one.
Like I said, let me take care of this. You deal with your grief how you need to.
Fine. Well,
Bell rings his little bell, signifying that he can hear things approaching.
oh no. I'll hide inside.
Are we not standing like right near the gate?
You are.
Okay.
I'll like duck back into the entryway and just...
Good night. And my envisioning was we were standing like right inside the gate that was going to lead outside, talking.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you see Jorman just drag this body out maybe 25 feet into the street. And then he just starts to walk back, and you can see what? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I was telling Adam I will take care of this. Just go back to bed. My intent is that I don't want you to see what's about to happen.
Yeah. Cool. Adam's gonna nod his head a couple times, go back inside, but not go back to bed. He's gonna try to watch.
Do I notice and stay?
He's gonna try to be stealthy. He's probably gonna fail, but
Okay, stealth versus perception. Let's go, boy.
yeah, you probably know.
I mean, my passive perception will see that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you see Adam just standing there at the entryway.
Okay. Fine. If you're scarred because the dogs rip them apart in front of your eyes, that's on you. And I go walk a bit of ways out, drop the body. I do linger for a bit. Shame. And I walk back.
Yeah. And as you start to walk back, Adam, you look just down the down the street, and you can see pairs of yellow eyes
Yeah.
starting to come down a couple of the alleyways.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like they could smell it.
Yeah. Yeah. And Adam's gonna do his best to stay inside, but he wants to see.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you stand there, and Jarman, do you come back?
Yeah, I'm coming back inside, but if Adam's staying, then I'll stand there and watch. I am gonna leave my hand on the outside, have it crawl up the building, just in case anything happens.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, your hand just starts crawling up. So you go over and you just slightly close the gate more as a formality. Most of the creatures don't bug you over here. Bell stands completely motionless where he always stands, seemingly never moving.
Like a statue.
And you see multiple dogs come up. They circle around, and some of them start sniffing, and then several of them start to go and pull different parts of Colin's body in different directions, just ripping at him. And if you were to stay for the whole process, you would probably watch for about a half an hour until most of him is completely cleared out and ripped different directions as like different ones. The bigger one tries to scare away the small ones, but then the small ones will come up and start, they'll rip at his arm and grab one of his arms and take it off down one of the alleyways.
Yeah.
So they just rip him apart and bring him all multiple different directions. Funny enough, some of them get close to Bell, but don't seem to notice that he's there.
Wow.
Weird.
Yeah. Colin does everything in his power to remain...
Adam.
Adam. Jesus. Adam does everything in his power to remain steadfast, to remain unflinching. He doesn't do a very good job.
Yeah, you just watch on as your friend literally gets teared to unrecognizable shreds.
Yeah.
And all that's left of him is a bit of his bloody cloak and a couple of his insides and blood.
Yep. Yeah, at that point, when there's nothing left, I'll linger for maybe a minute longer, and then just very blank expression on my face, turn and go back to the room.
Yeah. And with that, I think we get a transition shot where we're looking at the the pile that is left of Colin, and it's nighttime, and then it's daytime.
Oh man!
And it's there, and it's a dried blood splot with a bit of the small intestine hanging, and then some ripped parchment, ripped clothing. But that's it. That's all that's left of Colin.
Yep. Ugh. Yeah. And I'm not pacing in that case. I'm simply standing. Wow, this is what I thought I would do originally, but now it is what I'm gonna do. Yeah, it almost looks like I'm lording over Lucky in his sleep.
Nice.
I'm just standing a little bit away and standing over, not looking at him, just sort of downward. And yeah, also, do I get my intelligence back, by the by?
Yeah, you slept.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you still keep your temp HP though.
Yes, which I like.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so I'm there. I'm waiting.
And Lucky, you awaken, and there's an elf.
Immediately, short sword, just out of sheer instinct, is at your throat for less than a second before I put it back, and it's just like, you should really be more careful than that around here. People get paranoid.
Yeah, there's a very delayed response as you bring it up to his neck, as he's just kind of looking down. He just, I'm sorry. I wanted to speak with you.
And I look over at the empty cot over in the corner, and I just look at him with a look of understanding and go, "Alright," we're like, okay, what is it? And the look is surprisingly sympathetic.
Yeah,
like as before, he's been condescending and like he's been interested in you, but not particularly
caring.
Caring. There's a hint of empathy in his face right now.
That's surprising. That's cool. Yeah, I look at you. I'm going to need your help today. A lot of it. I'm going to be gathering everyone who will go to this Laris's tower. And I want to have you with me.
Sorry I could not be there to help when it really mattered. I really thought you'd get back safe.
That's okay. I don't blame you. You had your own needs, and you've had your own life nearly taken from you. Recently, I can understand the need for discretion. I wish to leave all that behind. It is the present that we must focus on.
And you see a look of... He almost seems impressed.
Yeah.
As Lucky hops down from the bunk and says, "Now you are thinking like you have to if you're going to survive in this town. Keep your head on your shoulders, and you might just do fine. Let's go." And with that, I walk out to meet the others.
Yeah, and if we go out,
yes.
we just see that Chum is standing there awkwardly, sort of near Jormund, not talking to Jormund. Jormund's just out there with a pleased smile on his face. Katerin is rubbing her eyes like a sleepy girl as she's being carried in one arm by Dusty as he's doing the same motion mirrored, but with his other arm as they're walking out.
Aww.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Chum, before I get to business, I assume you can feed yourself with that pouch I saw you with last night?
Right. He just looks at you, unimpressed.
Right, she were
Well, right, that's
stayed
good, 'cause
here.
I need to make sure
Right.
everyone gets fed. What, Dusty?
Yeah. He needs to share. He's in our house now.
He's helping Adam with something that's very important to him in exchange, so I assume no further payment necessary.
He's helping us with something that's very important to us. That's the way I see it.
Still doesn't seem fair.
No, it doesn't,
does
but
it?
I agree. But Chum, are you going to be staying here with us for an extended time?
Fuck, I hope not.
Oh,
As he just like looks around.
well, if you're not with us, then where would you go?
Well, with this, back to the noble, I guess. Drink.
And
for a
what then?
long time. Don't know.
Point, Chum. Point.
In between jobs at the moment.
What happens when people start asking what happened to Valentine?
Don't matter. He's a scumbag. Nobody really saw nothing now, did they?
No.
And I'd reckon that if somebody did see something, they probably didn't notice little old me. They would have noticed a big green fella looming over the area.
I think I understand what you're getting at, Adam. He raises a good point.
Was I was going to get chased out again.
No, Dusty, no one in this place is brave enough to chase you. However, Chum, I'm not going to threaten you. Adam raises a very good point. People saw us. If they talk, I don't know, did Valentine, was he friends with any of the, what are they called? Scabs. Was he friends with any of the scabs?
Don't think so.
Well, then that's something. But a man with that much money definitely had friends. All I'd like to propose is, you're in between jobs. You are quite efficient at killing people.
He just crosses his arms and like flexes a little bit, just right.
Which I can appreciate, because I look at Dusty. We like people who can punch very well. And as it seems, if you've no place to stay other than a place where you'd spend all your money, which I'm not going to judge, but once you're out of money, then you're just back to the same place you were. I offer you this. Stick around. Stay with us. Help us with our job, and if you don't entirely hate us after it's over, then stay around. Do some more jobs, and... well, my goal is to get out of this shithole. And I'm certain you would love to take your sister to a nicer place.
She's not my sister.
Oh, that was a lie. I appreciate that.
Right.
Oh, good on you. That's... yeah. Okay, I like you a lot more. In that case, I still want to get out of this shithole, and I imagine you'd like to drink something a bit tastier than, well, that.
Yeah. He just kind of looks around and looks at the grime under his nail for a second and just Give me something to eat and I'll think about your offer.
Very well. We're getting food in the morning anyways. So.
Lead on then.
Yeah, I just kind of look at everyone. By the way, not everyone is going to get food at the beginning of the day. Hopefully we can remedy that by the time we get food from market, but we don't have enough to go around. So, anyone who's going to help get food should eat now.
That's alright, I'll eat a rat again.
Who says
This is
that?
Katerin, is she just like...
Apologies, Catherine, but I do appreciate it.
Right.
Dusty, he has protection as always. You should eat up. I'm going to be doing my best as a distraction, so if it's pertinent, I will as well. Lucky, I assume you're still good at stealing things.
I would hope so.
Good. You will eat up as well. And that leaves one more. That's more people covered than I thought. Oh, because
Yeah. I know. The moment where it gets real.
Yeah. Never looked at the pile of guts on the road.
Yeah, that's almost everyone fed. Actually, with Katerin, yeah, everyone gets to eat. All right.
And I would
Right now?
Yeah, everyone gets food.
Fuck yeah.
Except for you, Adam.
Ah.
Because I forgot I had to feed Chum.
Yeah, Adam, you're expecting this piece of, like, it's bread, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're expecting this piece of bread to come to you, Adam, and all of a sudden just, Chum kind of steps forward and puts his hand out.
And yeah, I hand it to him. Adam, no offense is meant. It's just, well, your stunt at the marketplace is why we didn't get more food than we have. But not to worry. Once we get food today, I will be sure to make sure you are fed.
But he's skinnier than he is. He needs it more than him.
It's fine.
Yes,
Goldie, it's fine.
He's going to eat today. That's not going to be an issue.
It's not fine. Besides, you said that it wasn't your sister, so this person doesn't exist. This man did nothing mean to your family.
Dusty.
You made me do something horrible.
Oh.
Yeah, and Chum sort of looks over at him and just sort of chuckles and, well, is he fucking retarded?
Hold on, Chum. I didn't realize that he had lied to you, Dusty. I thought he had lied.
Did he say the R word?
Yeah. He just goes, what, is he fucking retarded?
I would like to
Chum-
not hurt him, but push him against the wall.
Yeah, I just step back once I hear that word. I'm just like, oh, this is not my place.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, you go up and you're going to go to slam him against the wall. I'm going to give him a fair reaction. So if you want, we can do athletics versus athletics.
Yeah.
This is going to be fun.
Yeah. So we're going to do a contested athletics.
I hate my life.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, these rolls.
Cheese and rice.
So yeah, you go to push him against the wall, and the thing is, Dusty, you're bigger than Chum is, but you're acting emotionally, so you're going in with a lot less form. It's where Chum all of a sudden, like, as soon as he feels himself start to get pushed, he's been brawling on the row since he was a little kid, so he just sort of ducks out of the way and then pushes you off, and he's just like, "Fucking watch yourself."
Would everyone please calm down? Chum. Would you please apologize? And I'm trying to give Chum eyes at this point, just like, do this even though you don't agree with it. Would you please apologize for lying to Dusty? Dusty hates bullies and he thought he was fighting one. It's not fair to him. It's not fair to lie to him about this.
Yeah, he just looks. All right. I lied. But if it helps you, that guy was a fucking bully. Ripped me off. My severance pay from Laris took all of it. We weren't stealing it, we was just getting it back. Didn't think you would help me. If it was money. Right?
And Lucky just chuckles, like...
And would you mind apologizing to him for lying to him?
Yeah, he just like, you're asking a bit much now.
I just give him a smile. Come on now, I don't need my two new people, or my old friend and my new friend, to be at odds with each other, please, I'm asking you as a friend and a new partner.
Roll me a persuasion.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go, boy. I wish I would have rolled higher on that. God damn it.
That's all right.
So,
That might have
yeah,
ended badly.
14.
Okay. Well, we ain't fucking friends. But sorry, big guy. Didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Don't touch me again.
Thank you, Chuck.
As he just like he goes and he just tears into a bit of the bread, and it's still really tense. Katerin has kind of walked in front of you, Dusty, and it's just like this, trying to like block your legs from like moving.
I think probably since Lucky was sort of the more far away, and I came in with Lucky might have been the only one that noticed this, but I had my hands a little bit angled outward at the sides of my body, which is sort of a preparatory motion for my burning hands. That's something that Lucky probably would have noticed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like raises an eyebrow at you.
Yeah, Dusty just sort of says out loud to her and to no one in particular, just I've been made to do horrible stuff before, and I hate it. So, yeah.
I don't fucking care. He just says under his breath as he just starts eating the bread, sort of
I wasn't
quietly
talking to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Chum's just being a dick, not being a chum.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
let's go.
But,
Tensions are always heavy when you're not on an empty stomach, and let's make sure everyone gets fed. Let's be off.
Right. Let's go then.
Yeah. As everyone heads out, I just kind of want to get Dusty, if I can, to slow down just a tiny bit and walk alongside him.
Yeah, you could do. Yeah, if you get my attention, sure.
Yeah, I'll just kind of pat your shoulder and hold on to it for a little bit, and maybe sort of beckon that you lean down a tiny bit as we continue walking.
Yeah,
And
I'll lead down.
Yeah, and I'll just sort of slightly whisper, but slightly just raspily say, "He lied to me too, you know. I'm never appreciated lies."
What did he lie to you about?
The same.
Well, I don't know. I don't like him.
It's okay, Dusty. It's okay.
I don't like him either. He's scary and he smells weird.
Well,
This is a little girl riding an orc.
Yeah.
I'm not scary, mate. I'm lovely.
oh, he's lovely. Dusty is the most amicable orc.
Yeah.
He's the most amicable person in the party.
Yeah, I know, straight up. I think with that, if you guys don't mind, we're going to take a quick break.
Do it.
Just for whiskey's sake. So go grab water and stuff. Hi, chat.
Hello.
Hey.
That's an intense moment for Dusty.
You're damn right.
Good on